Oh,
Can't believe
yes,
people are already
Joshua,
there.
we're here.
Can't believe people are already online.
Good afternoon or morning, as the case may be, wherever you are.
Yay!
Anyway, to start with, one of our regular listeners and commenters apparently has come down with COVID.
Who's that?
Sarah S. over in Europe.
Oh,
Uh, Hate to hear that, lady. Hope you're getting some good treatment over there. And, we're sending prayers for your quick recovery.
rest.
Yeah. Morning, gents. Look, so far it's all guys. John, Joel, Josh, Jesse. A whole bunch of J's.
I have discovered something today.
Yes.
Apparently, you shave off a beard, you can really freak some people out.
Yeah, you did.
I've worn a mustache for as long as you've known me.
Yeah.
And I only had a beard for about the last year, full beard for about the last year. And I got tired of scratching my face, so I shaved it off this morning. And I got stupid and posted a picture on Facebook, and apparently people are losing their minds.
Uh, yeah, Josh, I don't know why that happens, but it's YouTube.
What's that?
Uh, I and J are the same letter. Yeah, pretty much. And John says, I'm practicing work avoidance. And uh, speaking of work avoidance, uh, I am just cracking up over the Royals. And
Oh, for
they're,
God's sake.
it's two actors and a grifter pandering to the John is on. So far, everybody on here today, first name starts with a J.
Oy,
That's interesting.
that's different.
Yeah. Anyway, so you got two actors and a grifter in their multi-million-dollar setting. Uh, Sarah is here. I hope you're feeling better, lady.
Vitamin D fluids.
Yeah. So they're grifting and complaining, and of course, had to play the race card up front. And they're getting a lot of, that's just so sad from the Americans. The Brits, on the other hand,
Oh God. My little lady apparently has been taking notes because she's done a full-on analytical investigation of the whole thing. She's analyzing the difference between American and British reactions, and it's staggering.
yeah,
It really is staggering.
yeah. The Brits are basically saying, screw them, kick them to the curb,
Mhm.
be done with them,
Yank all her titles.
yank everything from them, and send them on their way, and no further comment. And that's one of the nicer
Oh,
things that has been said.
one of the interesting things, one of the that my little lady uncovered because all of a sudden she's become analytical, investigative. Like I said, she's been taking notes.
Yeah.
Apparently, um, what's her nuts made a statement that she and Doofus got married in a private ceremony earlier, 3 days earlier.
Which is illegal.
Yes, my little sweetie discovered that the Church of England does not permit second marriages.
Nope.
You cannot marry the same person again. And not only that, but a marriage in the Church of England requires no less than two witnesses,
Of which they only had maybe one.
and it must be in a public location.
Yep.
To allow for objections to the marriage, valid objections to be raised.
Yep.
And yeah, she's going down. She's pretty much writing a probable cause affidavit.
Yeah, and Louise says everybody wants to be a princess in time to do the princess stuff. What a rough life.
No kidding, right? Hola.
Hola.
And John said, Jeremy Clarkson says, America, you may have sent us back Piers Morgan, but we sent you Meghan and Harry. We got the better of the deal.
No kidding. We got the
Oh my God.
sausage on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jesse goes, Just the wife 007. I'll take care of the little ginger wanker myself.
The
Don't-
virtue signaling on that Margot
Lord.
thing is just.
Don't make it look like a car accident this time.
Yeah.
Well, she's accused them of being racist,
Right.
which means they are now in a negative defense.
Oh, yes.
They have to prove that they're not racist, which is not how it works.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't prove a negative.
Right. The second she said they're racist, and these are the reasons why.
Oh, it's Rita's racking up the quotes that it's really bringing the racists out of the woodwork and not the racist you think.
Right.
There's some idiot that's famous for being famous got on Twitter and said something about America and Britain, the founders of racism.
Oh my
Yeah,
God! Here we
yeah.
go with the 1619 project.
Yes.
It's not,
Oh, Jesus.
and then she winds up for a full-on head of steam and starts listing off.
Yeah, it's just the guys in the 1619 project conveniently forgot to mention that the first slave owned in the American colonies at the time was a black man who owned an indentured servant for 5 years.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's been slavery ever since.
What I loved was
The
when-
first tribe captured the second
second tribe,
tribe.
Exactly. What I loved was when Don Cheadle did a family tree.
Yeah.
And he found out that he was descended from slaves in the Cherokee or the Choctaw Nation.
Cherokee.
And this is years after the Civil War. They still had slaves back then. And
Yeah,
those
because
families from
the
there-
Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th didn't apply to the Indian tribes.
the reservations are considered.
Yeah.
They're considered separate nations. Which is
Yeah.
how they get away with the.
And there is still slavery existent in Africa today
Oh God, rampantly.
and
Oh,
rampant and shipped to Europe on a
And-
routine
And
basis
they're
Yeah.
proud of it, for God's sake.
out of Ghana. So
Oh, there's-
all those that want to go to Ghana, go have fun.
there's still markets that you can go to and
Tripoli.
Yeah.
and bid on them.
Yeah.
I would just saying love to have an 18-year-old Swedish girl, but it's I'm not saying
You
100,000.
Need to go to Dubai for that. He says, not joking.
Yeah, Jason says, yeah, those people who believe slavery started in the 17th century would really get a shock to read the Bible, the Quran, or the Book of Hammurabi, etc.
Yes.
I can remember reading the translation for the Codes of Hammurabi and the segment on what you owed if you killed a slave versus killing a freeman.
And it was more expensive to kill a slave. The other thing that Miguel kind of triggered me or tipped me to this one.
Trigger warning, trigger warning.
Yeah, well, kind of, sort of. Go on Google and do a search for mass shooting surge and see what pops
Why
up.
does anybody use Google anymore?
Don't get me started, because I was watching a debate on Fox News between a liberal and a conservative, and they were talking about how the riots all last year compared to the insurrection of January 6th. And the conservative mentioned the fact that all these businesses in New York City got burned out. And the liberal was, that did not happen. And it was adamant that did not happen. And that's because CNN and NBC gave seconds.
Yeah.
Of a 24-hour news cycle. They literally gave just seconds to businesses getting burned. So he didn't hear about it. If he didn't hear about it,
It didn't happen. Yeah.
Well, no,
Oh my God.
it's not just that, but one of the things that's really annoying me about the left these days,
Only one?
one of the things, is the amount of lying, bald-faced, open lying they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at what they name their bills.
Well, it's not just that. It's every time they have something they want to push, if you dig deep enough, there's lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If what you're espousing is that good, you don't need to lie about it.
Yeah.
If you have to lie about something, then you might want to rethink and recalibrate your thoughts on that.
Well, and John brings up a good point. That's why they have Common Core, so they can erase
Well, the
history.
the COVID relief bill that just passed was called the American Rescue.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. They should have named it the Democrat wish list Christmas tree.
Yeah, $1.9 trillion, of which 9% actually goes to COVID.
Right. The what I saw was
California gets a bailout. Illinois gets a bailout for their pension funds.
some of the national endowments for the arts things get bailouts. There's a bridge to nowhere, a tunnel to nowhere, a commuter train to nowhere. What I loved was they figured out it cost this bill cost every single American $26,000+ to give some Americans $1,400.
Yeah. And Joel says it's not just Google. Same thing on DuckDuckGo. Really? And they bailed out the NEA again. Yes.
Well, that's the thing of it. California's needing a bailout. They're not getting enough. They're going to need to get bailed out again.
Yeah. Well,
so what?
They're so upside down on their.
They got $40 billion.
Yeah, it's dropping the bucket for California.
Yeah, look at their unfunded liabilities.
So what disaster are they going to hijack to bail out California next time?
Don't know. But the other thing that's interesting, to go circle back around, hey Sarah, the other Sarah, to the mass shooting surge, is now the Dems are starting to push gun control bills.
So voila, all of a sudden, shootings are in the news again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they are tying mass shootings back in different states. So there are like 4 or 5 that I saw yesterday. Mass shooting surge in Tennessee, in Texas.
I saw that. This is what happens when you have the same intern write 16 articles for you.
Yeah.
Oh, they cut and paste. They find and replace.
It's the same article. They just changed the state name.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, damn. Jonna says that they have $30 billion in unfunded in Oregon.
Ouch.
They have vote for ice cream.
This is what happens when you let Californians in.
Yeah.
Jonna, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
She's a Texan. She's just happened to buy it in the wrong place, and we're trying to get her moved.
Yeah. Joel says you're in the minority. We don't have to compromise with you.
Hey, Jonna, give me a call later about the move to Texas.
Oh yeah, John. Seriously, Jim stumbled across something you know about.
Yeah. But part of the bailouts too is schools. There's over $100 billion that has not been spent to upgrade schools.
From the first bill.
Yes. And they got another 100 and some odd billion this time. So now they're up to 200 billion.
Happens when you have one of the most powerful unions in the country lobbying.
There's a solution here. We've got this. Do not use the word crisis on the border of illegal crossings, and we have all these schools that are sitting empty. So rather than catch and release, catch and put them in Lincoln Elementary School or the Jefferson High School.
Yeah.
Because there's empty rooms everywhere. They can sleep on the desks. I know I did when I was in school.
Yeah.
So
that's why you were not an A student, right?
There are many reasons why I was not an A student.
Whenever the government does catch and release, I've noticed, observing several of these programs over the decades, usually they tag. It's catch, tag, and release.
Except they're not tagging them.
I know why. If you're going to do catch and release, why don't you tag them?
So that
because they'll cut the tag off.
So that in 5 years, when their asylum court case comes up, you know where to get them to bring them in for the case, rather than, oh my God, they went down.
If they were doing ear tag wired to explosives, so you try to cut it and detonate it, that work.
Yes.
I'm in a mood today.
Okay.
I'm in a mood.
Yeah, Jesse says mass shootings are an all-time high, despite everybody being locked down.
Yeah,
and no schools to shoot up.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Yeah, all the traditional gun-free zones are closed,
are empty.
Yeah,
and all the the traditional pearl clutching, fainting couch laying people are off in Mexico on a beach.
On a beach, yes.
Yeah.
Zooming their duties to the schools.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a mass shooting in Mexico, I'm willing to talk.
If teachers keep complaining that they're paid too little, yet they can afford something I can't.
Yeah. which is a vacation in Mexico.
Yeah, let's go to Cabo. Sorry, my wallet has moths in it.
I wouldn't go to Cabo these days on a bet.
I
Anyway,
wouldn't go to Mexico. Honestly,
There's
I wouldn't go to Mexico for vacation.
The-
It's too iffy down
the
there.
national industry in Mexico is kidnappings.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go
Well,
there
it's
either.
a secondary industry. The national industry in Mexico right now is recreational pharmaceutical production.
Yeah. well, and the cartels pretty much own Mexico.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, dude, the border is.
Yeah, you want to talk mass shootings? Let's talk what the cartels are doing
Oh my
on
God.
both sides
Well,
of the
that's a
border.
mass chainsaw to hell.
Severed heads left
Yeah.
on cars.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, sorry, wrong car. We were leaving a message for this guy, not this.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
Jesse says
We'll get to you later.
anything that that happens in one of their free zones can't be counted. Yeah, that's pretty much true.
But again, if your whole ideology requires lies to promote it, you might want to really step back, take a long, hard look. I had some woman the other day tell me that there was no way, there was no physical difference between a male skeleton and a female skeleton.
The
What?
hips are different. The finger bones are different. You've got
The rib cage is different.
rib cage is different. The size of the major bones in the legs and the arms are different.
She flat out I said, "Are you
This
are you
is
sure?"
how literally this is how archaeologists identify skeletons with.
That's how forensic anthropologists do it. Because
Yeah.
I sat there and watched them do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were digging up a battle site from like 100 AD in northern Europe.
Yeah.
And there's
Wait,
50,
that's a
100
woman.
skeletons.
That's a
And they're
woman.
like, yeah, and they're like, that's a woman there. That's a woman over there. But all these are guys, and that's a,
You know, I had a woman who's educated in the education field, not Rita, tell me with a completely straight face, science says there's no way to tell the difference between a male skeleton and a female skeleton. I'm going, wow, that
Wow,
PhD was wasted.
yeah. Well, those 3-page PhDs, triple space.
But again, if you've got to lie,
Yeah.
you need to reevaluate your stance.
Yeah, it's just that they've gotten so used to using the useful idiots.
Well, I swear to God, it's a result of meme culture. I can't tell you the number of memes I've seen it's a picture with a statement that is completely and totally wrong.
Yeah, demonstrably wrong. Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, is it wrong?
Yeah.
But because it's attached to a pretty semi-relevant picture, everybody goes on Facebook, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's because it didn't bloody well happen.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, and John says back in the 60s, if you had to rely on lies, people would automatically discount you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But that's back when they still taught rhetoric and logic.
Yeah.
All right.
and Sarah S. says, so kidnapping for ransom is just a way to cut the boredom of cutting the heroin. Pretty much.
Yeah. There's a strip between Mexico City and a resort on the other side of the mountains.
Yeah.
East of or west of Mexico City. That is kidnap
Acapulco.
central.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
Well, it's not necessarily it's basically what you do when you're bored and you're making money hand over fist cutting your heroin
Right.
and you're bored, so let's go kidnap a gringo.
Yeah. Kidnap a gringo because they've all got money.
Yeah, Jesse says, yeah, the science is settled. Yeah.
And that's another one that really sets my teeth on edge. I'm here to tell you folks, if anybody opens their mush and the words "the science is settled" comes out, pat them on the head, give them a binky and a sippy cup, and sit them in the corner.
Yeah, because they do not understand science.
Because
No.
science doesn't.
It's
I spent 13 years working at the Office of Naval Research in R&D. All of that was new science.
yeah. Well, even
the
even
science
old-
is settled. Oh, you're
even old
cute.
science is not settled
Oh, God,
because
no.
something will happen that'll change it.
Yeah.
The whole.
Nothing can travel faster than light. Oh, then we found tachyons.
Yeah.
That was settled science. Nothing can travel faster than light. Then we
Right.
found tachyons. What the hell? They're traveling faster
Yeah.
than light.
And
Well, the science wasn't settled, was it?
Right.
quarks and a few other things.
Oh, they've gotten to the point where they've got an accepted value for the speed of light.
Yeah.
It's accepted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's liable to change in the next
Yes.
10 years
Yeah.
because it's not bloody well settled.
Richard
Exactly.
makes an excellent point. Science is a process.
Yep.
Yes.
There is nothing settled.
It's like, the science is settled. Oh, that's cute. Do you
Yeah.
know, is there an adult nearby?
Yeah. Did you?
And another one that really sets my teeth on edge is somebody doing an experiment, not getting the result they wanted, and then discounting their own experiment.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I used to
you
have
can't
to.
have a result already picked out before you do
Do
the
you remember when
experiment.
they
Yeah,
taught us?
yeah, you can. They try that on a routine basis.
I know they do. They're not
I
supposed to.
I can remember in one of my earliest science classes, so it had to have been grade school, where they taught me the scientific method.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you start with a hypothesis.
Hmm.
Yep.
You research, then you create an experiment, and if the experiment does not prove the hypothesis, you adjust the hypothesis until. But no, the goal hockey stick.
Yeah.
And you know how they got that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they started throwing out
Yeah.
reporting
anything
stations.
that they didn't like.
Yeah, any reporting
Anything
station they
that
didn't
didn't-
like, they threw out.
Anything that didn't match the result they wanted, they cherry picked it.
It does not work that way.
Well, and this whole thing with, 2 + 2 does not necessarily equal 4, depending on their cultural
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, if you go into Sapley Market and you buy 2 pawpaw and 2 more pawpaw and try to pay for 3,
You're not going to get out of there.
You're not going to have 3 pawpaw.
all of your cultural background is not to prevent that ass whooping you're fixing to take
Yeah.
for trying to steal a pawpaw.
Yeah. Josh says no one knew that cows hold building blocks to matter together until they discovered muons.
Nuances.
Yeah.
I can remember in grade school, I'm old enough that the continental drift was not not taught.
Yeah.
So it was like I can remember saying, "Hey, look, South America kind of fits right into their Africa." She's like, "No.
Well,
The continents do not move that way."
my tutor,
And
Yeah.
now continental drift is
they accepted.
yeah, because we've done experiments, we've done measurements, we've looked at the seabeds, and we're like, yeah. We're moving.
Well, my tutor, because I had a tutor in Africa, taught me 3 different theories for formation of continents on the Earth.
Yeah.
And I forget what they were, but there was continental drift and shrinkage and something else.
Yeah.
And he said, right now, we're pretty sure. I remember he was English. I remember him telling me quite clearly, we're pretty sure it's continental drift, but it could still be one of these. We haven't discounted them.
Don't get expansion and shrinkage involved, because flat earthers love that. And they're like, the globe is expanding. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah, Josh, he did wince at that one.
What?
And Richard points out there's a passing reference in the lands moving apart in Genesis.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was I think somebody was trying to cross the Red Sea. Oh, some Noah guys, because they're scientists, figured out where a wind gust, a wind burst, whatever you want to call it, a weather burst, could have separated the Red Sea.
Oh yeah.
And they could have walked across it. And the computer simulation, because they used a giant computer to do this, the computer simulation said it could have lasted up to 4 to 6 hours, which is enough time for several thousand people who are running from their lives being chased by chariots to get across.
Yeah. And
Well, how
Louise
much
says,
taxpayer money went to that?
They're Noah. They're going to do what they do.
Okay.
Louise says they don't teach any difference in theory and law and science anymore. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well,
The one of the things is, and having, like I said, worked with R&D, one of the jobs that my team had was to design matrices to actually test the efficacy of whatever we were testing, which included matrices for functionality, accuracy, repeatability. And to do that, we had to have a statistically significant set of
right, because you
inputs.
keep pumping them through the matrix.
Yeah. And to be statistically significant, you had to have a minimum of 100 hits from each particular thing.
And that'll get you the bell curve you're looking
Yeah.
at. And then you look at the 95 and the 85
Yeah.
percentages.
And then when you start playing with Pareto's and you start playing with Bayesian architectures,
Yeah, and you
and yeah, my head hurts.
You start getting down to the sig figs after a while, and you're just like,
Yeah.
Translation, off in the weeds.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I had an argument with a guy.
You argued with somebody?
Because-
Oh my God.
I thought it would be funny, and it turned out not to be. I told him, listen, when you zero your rifle, because we're at the bottom of a gravity well and the gravity is bending light, you need to account for that.
Really?
Really. And oh my God, yes, the light is being bent, but it's so far down into the sig figs, you're not going to notice it. The gravity effect on the bullet is orders of magnitude greater, but for some reason, I got stuck defending this. And I'm just like, why am I defending this? Yes, it's a thing, but it's so small that you're not.
Have you ever, I'm going to warn you, if you've never done this, start getting into long range accuracy with somebody from field artillery.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
yeah.
Don't.
No, because they've got this weird cockamamie Coriolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Coriolis plays.
When they start talking about Earth rotation and Coriolis, give them a Dr. Pepper and a Twinkie and escape while they're knowledgeable.
Exactly.
Yeah, and come back an hour later and they'll still be talking about it.
They will. They'll be talking about the northern hemisphere versus the southern
Yes.
hemisphere.
I don't care.
I had to go to a meeting at PG school a number of years ago with a bunch of PhDs on a new algorithm to put into a computer to do something. And the short version of the algorithm was only 5 slides long.
Okay.
And that's when the argument started.
Is this too short to be accurate?
30 minutes into the argument, I got up, left, went to lunch, smoked a cigarette, came back. They were still arguing over the 4th slide. They had not even gotten to the 5th slide yet. And I walked back to the projector and went, click.
This is why most mathematicians are a certain level of crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They should all kind of be committed to a nice soft room with a bowling ball. But yeah.
No, I had 9 of them in the meeting.
That's not,
9 PhDs
I'm sorry.
in math, theoretical electronics, physics, oceanography, and analysis.
well, 2-3 of those are math. So yeah, I can see that.
No, they were all math. They all had math PhDs plus other things.
Oh, above that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew a guy in college. He was working on his PhD in math, and he was trying to prove a new theorem in geometry, and he literally locked himself in his basement for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And we were slipping food under the door.
Don't doubt it.
He never came out, so I'm pretty sure he never took a shower, he never shaved, and he never changed his clothes. And yeah,
That's programmers.
That's crazy.
The guy that wrote the program for us in from Silicon Graphics, 5 days straight, wrote 130,000 lines of microcode and it ran.
I've heard stories about Los Alamos National Labs,
Yeah.
and I'm here to tell you, if I lived up there, I'd go around doubly armed because
They're all true.
some of those folks ain't right.
No. A lot of people don't know this, but way back when, in the first generation of GPSs, Rockwell Collins tried to market a civilian one.
Okay.
Okay. Now the battery pack took 12 AA's.
Okay.
Okay, and it ran for about 3 hours. The code for it, because they couldn't use any of the military stuff, they farmed out to a guy in Hawaii. It turns out he did nothing on the code until the last week or two. And then rather than going out and surfing, he just sat on his board and wrote the code out on the beach.
Oh yeah.
It worked for various versions of work because so they had all these civilian GPSs, and they couldn't sell them. They couldn't sell them because they didn't want to support them, and they couldn't donate them to anybody outside of the company because then they would be required to support them. So they gave them to all the GPS engineers. So we all have these literal brick-sized things that weighed the same as a brick.
Oh yeah.
And within the first 2 days on the company server, there were upgrades to the software. And because as engineers were going, hey, no, that's not right. And then put it on the server.
Yeah.
And you're starting to flash. It was
Josh says, going back to the shooting, account for the rotation of the Earth because the target will have moved since the light hit it and reflected back to the scope.
see,
Yes, that's true.
Don't
yes,
care. Don't care.
and it is so minuscule that if you're accurate enough to be shooting that, you need to be go working in the entertainment industry, shooting apples out of people's mouths.
Yeah. John did get his second audiobook funded.
Woohoo!
That's great.
Well done.
Yes. Josh says 9 PhDs, so 3 Marines with anvil scenario, except no anvil got pregnant. Yeah, that's
You know who never does never does the audio for audiobooks, I've noticed? Pee Wee Herman.
yeah. He dropped off the face of the earth.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. You think of who do you hire to read your book for everybody to listen to?
Yeah.
And the obvious answer is James Earl Jones or somebody like that.
Inside your head is a weird place, isn't it?
No, it's normal.
No.
We all are weird.
Afraid you've been misinformed there, brother.
Yeah. Josh says, instead of fornicating the anvil, one doubted its existence and wrote a theorem to explain the illusion.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fran Drescher. If I ever write a book and they do an audio of it, I want Fran Drescher to narrate.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, considering that we're in the presence of a being known only as Matilda,
Yeah.
that actually makes
Perfect sense. Yeah. Morgan Freeman's another good one.
God, I'd love to have Morgan Freeman narrate my life.
Samuel L. Jackson. There's just some words Morgan Freeman apparently doesn't say that are required for my life.
Samuel L. Jackson would be better for you.
Yeah. There's a level of motherfucker in my life.
Yeah, mostly. You ain't gonna believe what stupid motherfucker did this time.
And I looked at him like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Josh got you, Jim.
What do
He
you say?
says, Jim's head would be a super fun site if the UN were aware of it. Yes. Well done. Well done.
Actually, having worked at the UN, they take one look at inside of his head and would be catatonic in a corner, sucking their thumbs.
Yeah.
Hey, we made it 32 minutes without cussing today.
Oh wow.
Oh, then it was me. I'm sorry. It's just I just don't. If they declare my head a Superfund site, I don't want Ethiopian and Congan military as my UN peacekeepers.
Why not? You know how much fun you could have with the Ethiopian military?
And the Congan? No.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
No, that would be another good one. Oh, yeah.
You do realize that with 2 Snickers and a 6-pack of Coke, you could have a loyal legion of your very own.
Yeah.
You just keep them supplied in Playboys?
And Snickers bars.
Yeah, that would work. I'm not a big fan.
You want to see an insurrection? I've got a battalion of Ethiopians that I've just fed.
Yeah.
Your country is mine.
I told you about there was a weekend where we weren't flying around in Rwanda, and there were no less than 3 guys in military uniforms with automatic weapons on every corner.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
somebody planning an insurrection?
we had to literally call our friends not in Angola to find out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
It was
That's normal.
Yep.
What can you say about Angola? No, nothing. Okay.
Everybody else knows what's going on except the people there.
Again,
Yeah.
I posted a meme a year or so back that said the clearest sign of a revolution is this guy on TV telling you there's no revolution, and it's a guy in the military.
Yeah, it's Baghdad Bob.
Baghdad Bob.
Now, Jim's given up on his blog. He hadn't posted anything in 2 years.
Yeah, more than 2 years.
Yeah.
It's
Dead.
I'm not a prolific writer.
It's dead.
We
Stick a
have
fork in
those.
it.
Confessions of a gun-toting seagull. By
The
the
thing
way,
is, I used to post a lot, but it ended up being all about the guns I was collecting, and I'm like, I don't want anybody else to know that I have any guns, much less.
which ones you have?
Yes.
Well, actually, that's these days probably not a bad idea.
Although, if anybody out there finds an unmolested World War I Carcano, I'm still looking for one of those. Hey, it was the best
Who was
rifle the Italians could do.
Who was it that had a President's Day sale on Carcanos?
Oh, Royal Tiger.
Royal Tiger, yeah.
They got a bunch back from Africa. Africa apparently is the holy grail now for rare and hard to find rifles.
Apparently, they had a President's Day sale on Carcanos, which
Yeah.
I thought was just
Yep.
wow.
Too soon, maybe.
That was just.
Yeah, Josh wants to know about the helicopter.
It's still there.
On one hand, it's brilliant marketing. On the other hand, wow.
Yeah.
What I loved was when Nepal opened up Nepal took one of the royal residences and turned it into an arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for 150 years, no less, they just anything that got surplused or obsoleted, they just put in this arsenal.
Yeah.
So it was like 15, 20 years ago, one of the guys here in the States heard about it, negotiated with the Nepalese government to take their arsenal off, their old rifle arsenal off their hand.
Wow.
Oh my God, yeah. Mark I Martini Henrys were in there. Everything that the Britain had ever used up until Nepal stopped being a colony was in there.
They probably dumped on Nepal when they're done with it.
Yeah, and they were unmolested. They were original, and they were just packed in cosmos.
Yeah.
Somebody made money hand over fist.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Because
The Crufflers lost their minds.
the antique and collectors market for rifles is drying out because there are fewer and fewer places that still have them.
Yeah. Yeah, you talking about memes though. The people are now getting retroactively banned for memes that showed up last year.
Oh, they're getting
including
that showed up 10 years ago,
including the one that was wherever there is fascism, there is resistance, alluding to the.
Why would that be controversial?
Well, it's controversial enough because it shows the kid with the rifle.
Well, Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
And the other three are the guy with the Molotov cocktail, the guy with the knife, and the guy with the gun.
Poor Eccles.
Yeah. But it's even more interesting because that's not find that on
I was about to ask.
Google.
Oh yeah,
Has anybody heard anything about young Master Rittenhouse?
Nope.
I heard something a few weeks ago, but it was favorable for him because when
the DA wanted his address, and judge said no, you can't have the address because you keep giving it to people.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
But the interesting part was you use some of the others like DuckDuckGo, you can find it.
Yeah.
But Google, Facebook, Twitter, nope.
No, because that goes against the
Narrative.
big tech narrative.
Yeah.
Apparently, big tech has a narrative now.
Yeah. I'm guessing they've had one for a while. It's just gotten big enough they can't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, the White House has just admitted that Biden's policy has led to the crisis on the border.
No, that is a word you cannot use.
No, they just used it.
Yeah, well, Fox did.
What gets me is I just blanked on the governor's name. I have Alzheimer's disease.
Which guy?
Ours, Texas.
Abbott.
Yeah. Abbott has called it a crisis. He called it a crisis a couple of days ago.
He's been calling it a crisis.
Abbott, the last time this was going on, which was just before Trump got elected, activated the National Guard and stuck them on the border.
He did again this time too.
Has he? I haven't heard yet. Good.
Oh yeah.
Good, because Fox News is flying a drone over somewhere near McAllen. That's just a flood.
Matamoros.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen the pictures of the? Apparently, somebody's making T-shirts and passing them out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Biden.
Biden let us in.
Please let us in.
Yeah. It's somebody here in the States. That's gigantic liberal.
Well, that or a capitalist.
Capitalist selling it to a liberal outfit that's giving it to the.
Yeah, Joel says the latest news on Rittenhouse is trial delayed to November. And Sarah said, dangerous individuals or organizations that go against our community standards. Why are they dangerous? Damn good question.
Well, what I love is
freedom of speech. Anyone?
What I love is the amorphous community standards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they won't tell you. They'll say you have violated community standards, but they won't tell you what standard.
Yeah. Which one?
It's not written down. Oh, well, here, let me scrawl it in purple crayon.
It's one of those, we don't know what our standards are, but we know we can violate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah says, dangerous to whom? Obviously, to those that are lying.
Free speech is always dangerous.
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that? Matthew McConaughey is thinking about running for Texas
Yeah.
governor.
No, for
That
God's
would
sake.
be freaking hilarious.
Oh,
Well, what I
Oh.
loved was the talking head that was talking about it compared him. She said he couldn't do a worse job than Cuomo and Newsom and because he's apparently thinking about running as a Republican.
McConaughey?
Yeah, and I was like, the only people that you can compare him to favorably
The
are
Democrats.
non-Texan governors.
Yeah, that are
Why don't you
Democrats.
compare him to any number of governors we've had?
Abbott, Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Nope, can't do that. Have to compare them to the ones that are really screwing up.
Yeah, Josh, there are a number of different programs that I watch. Mainly so I always know what the opposition's doing.
He's got to run as Republican because in Texas you can't get voted in the governor's office without being Republican. That's just plain simple fact for
Mhm.
now.
If
For now.
you carried Austin, Dallas, Houston,
What's her name? Wendy Davis
Yeah.
carried all of them.
Yeah, she carried all of them.
and a couple
Yeah.
more, you still didn't make it. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's
Still.
true.
Pull
That's-
up, Parkins, pull up.
That's because we're a little bit less corrupt in how we count ballots. Is that
Yes.
how it goes?
Yeah.
I
And
do
we've
have
just-
one positive piece of news, though.
We've just gotten even less.
It's a real paperback now, as of
Woohoo!
today.
Yay.
$11 on Amazon.
Well done, sir.
Finally, after 2 friggin' weeks.
Do you start yelling at Amazon again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, talk about book burning. Amazon pulled all their Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
But they left Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
left the outcome of the.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And so is eBay. Same thing.
that's
Mousy tongues.
Yeah.
Little red book or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
and everybody's screaming. Well, they're private companies. They can't do that, or they can do whatever they want. I'm like,
Yeah, not so much.
yeah.
There's a fine line there because yes, it's a private company, but Amazon, let's face it, has become pretty much of a monopoly.
Yes.
Yeah. They're de facto the source for
Yeah.
books.
So I don't know that private company applies to them anymore.
No. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the monopoly laws start getting applied. Because they're looking at Google, they're looking at Facebook, they're now looking at Amazon.
I'm thinking they're going to get caught on RICO more than
Yeah.
Monopoly.
No kidding, right?
That's possible.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's just
Sorry, your meeting got hung up, Raptor.
That's, John Gotti's going, man, if I'd just done what Google's doing, I'd have made twice as much
Yeah.
money and not gotten in trouble.
exactly.
Yeah, Josh says Amazon is now becoming a public utility.
Yeah. Google might as well be a public utility, swear to God.
Yeah.
Except Google's in bed with the Chinese government.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's in bed with the
Yeah.
Chinese government. Try to say something nasty with the Chinese on Facebook, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
Oh, I know. And obviously the entire Biden clan has been bought and paid for the last 20 years by the.
Is Swalwell loaning his mistress to Hunter Biden? Fang
That
Fang or
is
whatever
yeah.
her name?
That is an interesting question. Or China has enough people. They probably gave him one of his own.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah. Jesse says, yeah, there are some things wrong when the control left starts screeching about my private companies. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
We had this talk at work today because one of the girls was talking about TikTok, and I'm like, listen, I'm not downloading TikTok because I do not want the Chinese government to have all my information.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's a company. I'm like, it's a company in China.
Does anybody remember when the whole pandemic panic started and there were someone screaming that Zoom goes through the Chinese Ministry of Security's main office
Which it does.
from you to whoever you're talking
Yeah.
to? It
Yeah.
first goes past the Chinese censor.
Yeah.
Did everybody forget that? Because apparently everybody's using Zoom these days.
I'm almost 100% certain that any software developed in China has a backdoor for the
Oh,
government.
God, yes.
Lenovo computers.
Oh, remember the smart TVs that Lenovo came out with?
Oh, yeah.
And you had to disable the smart feature. It was automatically on.
Yeah.
And the smart feature automatically sent your watching preferences straight to China.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
The few times I've had to do a Zoom this last year, I made bloody well certain that whatever Chinese intelligence agent I got rammed a Q-tip in his ear and started scrubbing his brain when I was done.
Oh, Dawn finally got here.
Must get that image out of my head.
Missed most of it because people are dumb at work today. And how is that different from any other day,
I was gonna say,
Dawn?
that's de facto, that's baseline.
Whatever Chinese intelligence agent gets assigned to my Zoom, I want him to have PTSD.
Yeah,
I want to
Sarah
be crying in the shower the time I'm done.
and Sarah S says, highway. That's another one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I just have this picture of me being online, and the Chinese intelligence agent sits down at the computer, gets starts looking at what I'm doing, and the NSA agent who's assigned me goes, "Hey Bing," and he goes, "Hey Charles," and
That's a good point.
yeah, it's just, it's amazing.
Because I'm pretty sure my NSA agent drinks heavily.
Yeah, the as connected as our lives are now, data mining is just It's not even mining anymore.
I have this
It's
mental
just-
image of this NSA agent sitting down, firing up the computer and going, "Oh God, he's doing it again."
doing it again. Yeah.
It's that search string again. Well, would.
You know that there's an
He
entire
claims he's a writer, but
you know there's an entire sub branch of the NSA devoted to writers.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's a writer. Send him off to the guys in the basement.
yeah,
There used to be a list of all the words that the NSA
Oh, yeah.
automatically search for. And this is
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
There for a while, I would send a text once a day that I had a cut and paste on my phone that had every one of those words in it.
I
yeah.
had a standard email that I would send out with all the words in
Jesse says, I'm pretty sure most folks in this group are the ones that give the FNGs and wait for the breakdown.
it.
Because there for a while, I had Osama bin Laden bombing. It was like 5 or 6 key words, and then
Yeah.
there was a the plan file, and it was a GIF.
Yeah.
Of what's his name with the mustache from oh God, he was the porn star with a humongous
John Holmes.
John Holmes
Yeah.
helicopter.
Now the other one was
You just wanted to know if I knew it automatically.
Yes,
the other one was intelligence.
Yeah, no, there was a list of like 10,000 words or something. It was a pretty big list.
No, they
I
were,
know there was some poor bastard, the NSA, that oh God, it's Holmes again.
yeah. Now the one that I had was less than 100 words.
The top 100.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I
Of course, I
remember.
might have gotten them from somebody that might have worked at an agency across the river.
I can remember driving by the listening station for cell phones in Europe when I was in England.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Turkey, but never mind.
No, I'm still having an argument with that one guy in Turkey about llama porn.
Jim is responsible for the increase in Chinese mental hospital admissions.
God, I hope so.
Louise says at some rehab facility, crap, another e-enlisting agent to be admitted today. John says, my webpage used to be the site for where to find plans for making your SKS automatic. It was linked from everywhere in the world.
Well,
Oh, Jesus.
my little lady has a lovely voice, and she did a podcast some years ago. Oh God, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
where she read this monkey nose rape porn.
Oh, I can remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
Yes,
that part.
and it's absolutely adorable. Well, it's gross and adorable all at the same time because she gets the giggles halfway through it.
Yeah.
And she gives this monkey nose rape porn the full treatment. And she's a trained soprano.
Yeah.
She has a lovely voice, and
It was hilarious.
and I had a audio file of that, and I know that somewhere the term monkey nose rape is triggering for people in certain hospitals.
Well, you realize now everybody's going to want you to put that up on your blog again.
She'd kill me.
Do it anyway. You can read your blog.
Alan Andrews,
Excellent.
poor Mike, got that on one of his early podcasts.
Yeah.
And Rita, when she was doing it, she thought that everybody was horrified because everybody listening muted their mics because they were laughing so hard.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, the monkey nose rape fantasy.
Yeah. Sarah S. says, monkey nose rape. Isn't that what we're calling the COVID test? Yeah, unless you go to China, then you
Unless
get
you-
one up the butt.
Oh, did anybody? Am I the only one that caught the complaint from the consular personnel, American consular personnel in China, that they were forced
Yeah.
to take a anal swab
Yeah.
entering China?
That's fact.
Yeah,
No,
but man, it disappeared real quick.
Yeah.
I got it back channel, and it's like, what that? And I checked, and there was one little bitty mention of it, and then it
Which
went
is now gone.
away. It went away.
Yeah.
Because Air France is instituting a travel passport, a COVID travel passport. This is the airline Air France is doing
Right.
that. And I'm wondering what they're requiring.
Well, okay, you want China? The
I would-
Chinese government has petitioned the World Health Organization to A, institute an international COVID passport,
Yeah.
and B, allow China to maintain the files.
Yes, Jesse, he did say back channel talking about the butt. Yes.
What?
Jesse's laughing at you
For what?
for your comment about getting your information about the butt swab back channel.
Oh, crap.
It all fits together in a very
Damn it. Point.
so
You got him. Oh, you got him good.
so
And he is turning shades
I
of
got
red.
the information sub rosa. How's that?
the COVID is a respiratory disease, right?
Uh-huh.
It's
So,
an influenza like ours.
How far up your butt does that Q-tip have to go to get to the respiratory part?
Technically, about 4 feet, you've hit tonsils. So-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not so sure it's a COVID test. I think once we have a very, very perverted Chinese
What's
official,
the punchline of the old joke? You're not here for hunting, are you?
Mm.
they're gonna fix my eyesight, but they have to go with that, and no one takes that route with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, the
Uh,
twice a week train has done hit the dirt road, is banging along,
Yeah.
We're back in junior high.
bumping down dirt road.
He said,
Don, he was already turning red. You didn't have to get him. He got himself.
I hadn't realized that. I got the data sub rosa, okay?
And now he's doing it again.
Ah,
Beneath the rose. That's not much better. True.
damn it. Okay, never mind. We're moving on.
Supposedly it's transmitted by fecal matter as well, which is why it transmitted so quickly in China, is they don't
They transmitted because they're nut to butt and sneezing on each other.
well, and they don't use P traps on their plumbing either.
Because they're nut to butt and sneezing on people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the anal swab is gratuitous at best.
And this is really bad when Raptor is going phrasing.
We're not doing phrasing
We're
anymore.
not doing crazy anymore, apparently.
Well, we haven't got you that bad because the accent hadn't come out yet.
It's in a chokehold right now, by God.
Well, folks, you never know what you're going to get out of us on a given day.
No
That's
kidding,
for
right?
damn sure.
No kidding.
Just stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's three-way stream of consciousness. And we
Perversions of
we
consciousness.
sort of braid in those
Yeah.
streams every now and then.
You got to remember, I'm about 1 hour past my stamina right now, so
Yes.
it's all
You're a little green right now.
it's all weird.
No, Richard, we never did do phrasing, so.
Thank God.
Yeah, Raptor, I would agree. A few good Patriots, maybe a Titan or two, a few other things into Beijing wouldn't hurt matters at all.
Well, just ask the Taiwanese, because apparently they bought some intermediate range ballistic missiles from South Africa, of all places. And if you look at the specs that South Africa was giving before they cut 500 nautical miles off after selling to Taiwan,
Yeah.
Three Gorges was well within range.
Yeah.
Now it's not. Now the updated range has had 500 miles chopped off of it, and it can't quite reach Three Gorges Dam. However, if you go back 2 years prior, the same intermediate range ballistic missile was well capable of smacking three gorges.
I still think the Israeli missile was a better one. I don't know why that's not.
South African and Israeli have the same tech.
I know, but the Israeli ones
It's
are
the
better.
same guys.
They're better tested. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just
Nah,
yeah, I don't know.
they've been used more
Yeah.
in actual combat.
South Africans actually use it and know exactly how far.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
South Africans have got a better test range that nobody else knows about, except for a few folks.
Also, they're smacking various terrorists at 1,500 nautical miles with
Yeah.
things.
Oh, did you see the new drone that Iran displayed at their latest military?
Yeah,
Is it like the aircraft carrier they're displaying 2 years ago?
Yeah,
That
it's,
thing was beautiful.
it's eerily similar to the one that they shot down.
With a better paint job, right?
yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that the last time they introduced a new fighter jet, it was just a Hulk.
It was a cardboard mock-up.
Yeah, there was nothing inside it, which was I just love. They painted it and this is our new jet.
It was wonderful because the jet was what I call the 1950s sci-fi book cover gun.
Yes.
Because if you looked at the guns on the 1950 sci-fi covers, there's no way the damn things would work.
Yeah.
You had a magazine that was nowhere near the ejection port and nowhere near the barrel.
yeah.
It's like, a magazine that was feeding vertically into a horizontal chamber would not work. Well, the same thing on that fighter.
Yeah.
There was no way that pilot was sitting unless his butt was in the jet stream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know the airplane would not fly.
Yeah.
I mean, even as it was, the aerodynamics of the shape would not fly.
Yeah.
But it's just if you fit the pilot in there, his butt's right where the turbine would be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Israel. It's Iran.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're gonna.
Sarah, come on. Three gorges may not mean much more than a strong sneeze is right.
No.
They
kidding.
need one more good flood over there and it's coming down.
Yeah.
Dawn, come on down. We'll be here. Not like we're going anywhere.
We're always here.
And Raptor, thank you for that comment. We are a bunch of perverts. We don't care.
We're perverts. We passed pervert a while ago back.
Yeah.
The great thing is the Taiwanese B plan, which involves smacking the dams upriver of Three Gorges before they smack Three Gorges. That extra little bit of help.
Well, it's not that hard when you have lousy construction methods.
Communist bureaucracy on the take.
Bribing, yes.
Communist, let's face it, communist construction methods aren't great.
No, the engineering, it's supposed to be, 6,500 pound concrete and it might be 3,500 pound.
Well, you got to remember that most of the stuff is being built by some poor PhD who said the wrong thing and got stuck in the gulag system.
Right.
So, and he's probably not been trained on how to lay bricks.
Right. Well, I remember a study out of the USSR, and it was into some agency, I forget which one, did the study on penicillin manufacture in the old USSR.
Yeah.
This is while it was still the USSR. And they discovered that 3 out of every 5 vials of penicillin were tap water.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Because the poor schlubs on the line weren't getting the penicillin stuff, but if you didn't produce X number of vials, you were for the high jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fucking tap water looks like penicillin squirt.
Yeah.
If you had to have 500 vials, but you were only getting 25 vials worth of penicillin, well, the other 475 came out of municipal water supply.
Yeah.
And that's baked into a communist work system.
Yeah.
China isn't any different.
Oh God, no.
Well, I mean, you go back to World War II. Classic example was the slave workers that the Germans had, the Czechs that were in the ammunition plant,
Mm-hmm.
that weren't putting explosive charges in aircraft.
Well,
They literally stuck notes in there in one case that was recovered that said, in Czech, this is all we can do. Because the shell was actually retrieved out of the wing of a B-17, had not exploded. And they took the shell apart, and inside was a note, literally in Czech, hand scribbled on a piece of paper, this is all we can do.
Well, the Chinese, if you've got to have 6,500 pound cement, but you're only getting supplies, if your communist overlord has decreed there will be 1,000 pounds of 6,500 pound cement,
Yeah.
but you only have supplies for 5 pounds of it. Well, you'll stretch that out because
Sand is cheap and plentiful.
Yeah. You'll stretch
because
that
the
out, but-
rest of that went to some
right.
muckety muck's
But
mansion.
if you are required for X number and you provide X number at the end of the week,
Yeah.
so you'll provide X amount.
Well,
May not be.
it all flows down. So
Yeah.
you're told to produce X amount of 600-pound concrete. Well, you couldn't. Most of it's now sand. Well, that goes out to the construction site. They're told to build X amount of this building this week. Well, I don't have enough cement for that, so I'm going to cut this cement even more.
Mhm.
And eventually, you get buildings that just collapse for no reason.
Well, that was
Well,
one of the
Raptor,
things.
that's a good point. In the movie Red October, that's what killed Ramus's wife. Was she did not get penicillin, she got water.
Well, that was one of the things in the short story I did for Peter McNeilan's book.
Yeah.
The thing was to produce a bump in supply chain for munitions in China.
Yeah.
Because the cascading failures off a 6-week bump would be catastrophic.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that people didn't understand that's what would happen.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Well, like the primers, the Wolf and Brown Bear got the factory that produced those primers got shut down for 3 months because of COVID. Well, that affected how they can produce how much they can produce, and eventually it goes down to the fact where any of their military contract overruns are being pulled apart so they have stuff to sell in the civilian
They're
market.
stripping for the primer.
Yeah, it's just this cascade.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with Fresca.
You still gotta burn up about that.
Oh my God.
And that's on that note, we're done. We've wasted another hour of your time. Yes, Josh, it will fly all the way to the crash, just like most airplanes.
Yeah, once you lose that first engine, the second one's going to make it all the way to the crash site. Guaranteed.
We do appreciate your listening in. We do appreciate the comments. Y'all kind of drive the conversation, whether you believe it or not.
Oh yeah. Well, they drive and then we go off road.
Yeah, well, we've given up on train tracks. So y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Bye.